All right, so what do you make of this whole Cracker Barrel saga? I mean, it's just a logo. They also made some menu changes in all fairness, but it's just a logo. Why do you think it drew such ire from people, and why do you think there was such a big stock reaction?
Yeah, I love that point, Frank. It's not just a logo, and so
Oh,
to us we would think, yeah, it's just a picture, it's just a graphic. To the world, it's a symbol. It's a sense of self-expression. It's something that says to you, this is something that we need to think about. We need to picture as part of our lifestyle. And so people, I have an understanding, Frank, of the brand, the meaning system for Cracker Barrel of being all of these things that include Uncle Herschel, the barrel, these different aspects, the store. The antiques, the rocking chairs, the pancakes, everything about the store is wrapped up into the brand and the meaning system associated with the brand. And those values that are associated with those beliefs play into the psychology of consumers. So if those things suddenly change really abruptly and they change in a pretty drastic way, people say, man, maybe the company's changing, maybe the brand's changing, maybe what the business model is changing. And so they panic. And you see what happens when that panic really reaches a certain fever pitch, because consumers look at that and they say, hey, this may be affecting, what I think about the company. And then that affects, obviously, the stock price.
all right. So is this something that you think a company can actually use to potentially boost their stock price, or at least get the interest of retail traders? I'm thinking about American Eagle right now. So they dropped that Sydney Sweeney ad back on July the 23rd. Since then, the stock's up over 30%. It's higher right now in the pre-market as well. It's clearly kind of ridden the wave of that whole it turned into a controversy, but the campaign, I'm going to call it a campaign. Now, do you think the stock's moving higher on the controversial aspects of it, or the fact that they're just getting free publicity because we're all talking about it?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, Frank, and I think that's a fantastic point. And so smart companies, if they do this right, they can pick a cultural moment, and they can sort of, just as you said, Frank, ride that wave, that psychological wave of consumers having some prediction about the stock and the price and the business model, and what might be volatility or stability in terms of the imaging and the campaign messaging that goes along with that. So if you're doing it well and you're not generating too much sort of political backlash, this can actually turn into your favor.
All right. Are you a Swiftie, Americus? I don't know if you listen to Taylor Swift.
I'm not a Swiftie, sir.
You're not a Swiftie? Okay. What do you make of Signet Jewelers moving higher on the idea that Taylor Swift got a cushion-cut ring? I mean, you can buy a cushion-cut ring from, I think, any jeweler. You're down there in Philadelphia. They got Jewelers Row down there. You can go to any one of them. They'll give you a cushion-cut ring. But Signet benefiting, and then also Ralph Lauren benefiting because they were wearing some Ralph Lauren clothes. I mean, that's something the company's not even involved in. Talk to me about that, the fact that people can latch on to these ideas that this ring somehow is connected to Signet and the stock moves higher, or the fact they're wearing these clothes. I mean, just kind of, I don't even know what to make of that.
Yeah, I love that point, Frank. And I think you're pointing to something that's, again, a lot of what you describe in your analyses on worldwide exchange, there's elements of financial aspects that are very rational. And then there's elements of psychological aspects that have to do with perceptions and people's inferences in the marketplace about things being connected and that sort of thing. So even though I'm not a Taylor Swift fan myself, I'm a fan of her brand because I understand how those connections between these very powerful cultural icons and individuals can make those connections, like you said, and companies can, if they're just like even tangentially associated with these things, they can benefit because, again, there's a large sort of social utility that's buzzing around in people's heads that say, hey, this may be a signal to me that this particular product or this brand or service, et cetera, is doing something that is in line with my values. So therefore, I believe it's more secure, and I want to actually invest and deploy my own psychological and financial resources toward those products, brands, and services.